So next we will discuss about variables and constants. Okay, so what are these variables? Before we have discussed about the basic data types. Okay, it represents what type of data you want to store. Okay, so if you want to store an integer, you give an int. If you want to store a character, you give a char. Okay, but how will you store data with this data type? Okay, how can you store a data? You cannot just say I want to store int of 10. No, you cannot do that. Or you want to say I want to store char of a is the data and char is the data type. I want to store like this. No, you cannot do that in C. Okay, you cannot do that anywhere in programming language. Simple. So what is this variables? Variables is just a name given to a storage location in a computer memory. Understand? It is just a name given to a storage location in a memory. What does that mean? So it is, if you want to store 10 in memory, how will you retrieve it? You have to give a name of the memory location, so that anytime you want to retrieve this data, you can retrieve anytime using that name. And what is that name? Is a variable name. Let's say we want to store this 10, let's say value. So you want to store 10 in a variable named value, and what type of data is this? Let's say int. You understand? Again, I will explain to you. What is this variable? Variable is just a name given to the storage location in memory. You cannot store char a, not like this. You cannot store like this. You have to give a name in the memory location so that you can retrieve any time you want. Let's say value. Value is just a name. So what do you want to store here? Value is equal to 10. So this is the data that you store at value. Value is a memory location, is a name of the memory location in memory. Storage location, you can say, is a name given to the storage location in memory. So you store 10 in value, and what type of data is this? Int. Okay, so basically variables are this name of the storage location in memory. Like this, you store 10 on the value, which is a name, and what type of data is this value? Type of data value is int. Similarly, let's say char data type, and you want to store alphabet. Let's say alpha is the name. What do you want to store here? A. Understood? Okay, and what are these constants? Constants are simply variables. Constants and variables are same actually, but constants, once you declare the value, it cannot be changed anymore. Okay, so let's say you have let's say variables. You have int a is equal to 2, int b is equal to 3. Later you can say in the program, when we study about the program, we can say that a is equal to a plus b. Then a now becomes 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. So this is a variable. Okay, it can be changed. Okay, now we have a, before we have a is 2, and now we have a is 5, so it can be changed. And constants, we say const a is equal to 10, and this value cannot change anywhere in the program. It is fixed, it is constant. By the name itself you can understand it is a constant, it is fixed. Okay, once you declare it const a is equal to 10, you might not see the light reflects, I will write it here. Const a is equal to 10. Once you write const a is equal to 10, it is fixed. Okay, you cannot change, it is constant. You can understand it is constant. This one a, you are not declaring const, you are not declaring a constant, so a can be changed to, from 2 it can be changed to 5. But a constant, once you declare it a is equal to 10, it cannot change anywhere in the program. Alright. You will understand all these basic terms and terminologies like data types, what we have discussed about identifiers, keywords, data types, and these variables, constants. They are very simple. Once we start doing the programs, you will understand easily. Okay. Now let's discuss declaring a variable or declaring a constant. Okay. Declaration. We write here declaration. Okay, like we have discussed, how will you declare variables? First you have to write a data type, okay, and a variable name. Okay, I don't know if you can see, the light might reflect. I will write it here. Data type and variable name. This is a simple syntax of how to declare a variable. Example, let's say if you want to declare a character, let's say char, which is the data type, and you give alpha. Okay. Example again, if you want to store integer, what is the number? Let's say h. You will give h. Okay. Again, if you say float, float, let's say salary, because salary might have decimal point. Okay, and in integer you don't have decimal. Okay. Let's say double. Double is, let's say, what? Population. So this is the basic declaration of a variable. You have the data type, you have the data type and the variable name. Okay, if you want to do initialization, now the initialization part is, you say char alpha is equal to a. Character stores a single character. Okay, why? That's why the size of character is only 1 byte in memory. Okay, now the integer part, if you want to do the initialization of integer part, you say h. Let's say you have 30. This is the declaration part before. Okay, now is the initialization part, because you can just declare it like this and later in the program you can initialize it, no problem. But if you want to initialize it while declaring it, you can do this way also. Let's say float salary is around 30. No, we'll not say salary, but we'll say your bank account, a bank balance. Okay, so let's say bank balance, you have 30,005.76. okay, so if you want to initialize a floating point variable, you can store like data type, the variable name is bank balance, and you store like this. And double, you can store endless number, is a very large number in double. Okay, so this is how you declare declaration and initialization, declaration and initialization of a variable. Okay, now let's talk about constants. Okay, how you initialize a constant. Right, so the only difference between initialization of a declaration and initialization between a constant and a variable, the only difference is you proceed on the first by the keyword cons, and then you follow the same procedure like you initialize for a variable like cons. Let's say what you want to store, pi. Let's say pi. Cons float pi is equal to 3.14. all right, so this is the way how you initialize a constant. Okay, it's very simple. We will be doing lots and lots of programs, and in that way you will learn how how are these basic terms like identifiers, keywords, basic data types, variables and constants. All these is very simple to understand. You can understand easily while writing a program. Okay.